here at the GSL Code S round of 16, Group C. We are here at the losers match. It is Zest versus Dark coming at you.
Yeah, who would have thought these guys would be in a losers match, Valdez? Not me, not today, but it's happened and here we are. One of these players is going to be leaving. Bit of a surprise, I gotta say, though it was pretty hard to kind of predict who would be making out of this group.
Yeah. A lot of competition in this one. Solar even, a guy we said who's not quite on the same level in terms of achievements for this year as the other three. Still making a great showing so far. He just went down in the losers match to Biel, who did an advance.
Yeah. Let's see if Doc actually paid attention to that series and knows exactly what he's up against with Zest. We haven't seen much ZVP from Doc in recent times. He went down to Hero a couple of weeks ago, but besides that, not much.
Yeah.
Like a week ago.
That is just a best of one, so he's going to have to go into this best of three against Zest. He did get to see at least the series that they had between Biel and get a little taste of what his PvC is looking like.
Well, here we go with the maps. Coda, Cactus Valley, Expedition Lost. Interesting map lineup. Cactus Valley is certainly going to be favoring Dark. I'm sure he's going to be happy there. But he's going to get through Coda first.
Yeah. Dark, one of the Zergs who doesn't seem too unhappy to play on Coda, for sure. We see him play on this map quite a lot. And we are going to see Expedition Lost as that final map. Zest being cheesed out by Biel on that one. Yeah, you got to be careful on that one. Pretty tricky map for Protoss to play on. You got to defend from two fronts. That backdoor eye is creating problems. Thinking Zest may want to take a 2-0 here and move on to that final match. But let's see who is going to take the first map here on Coda.
HOT6 GSL Season 3.
Up here in the top left, in the red.
KT Roster Zest.
Struggling against Zerg in that first match. Not good. Down here in the bottom right, that blue Zerg player.
SK Telecom T1 TAC.
Here he is. Not looking as confident and sometimes cocky as he usually does today. For some reason, maybe he knows that this is, there's a lot of on the line here for this group, and he's got very strong opponents ahead of him.
Yeah, well, it's really like the last tournament of the year for these guys as well. Zest and Dark can't really afford to lose this one. If they do, then they're out for the year. You'll see it pause real quick. Last time these guys played was actually in the qualifiers for IEM Gamescom, where Dark took it 2-0. Something to note. A little while ago now, but a bit of a stat. Not too far.
Yeah,
not too
just
long
a
ago.
Little bit of a stat there, Moonglade.
Oh, Zest doesn't like the lighting. We see this all the time in Pro League. He's just a little bit bothered. Doesn't like that glare on the screen, it seems.
Yeah, that can be annoying. I mean, these guys are pro gamers, so you really can't have any small thing affect your play.
Yeah, and a lot of players will play with these kind of problems instead of speaking up, which is also a bad thing.
Yeah.
Might as well get it done. Flash showed them the way for KT. He's like, he'll make a fuss about anything. He'll take his time, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
Though it's harder for us because we have to kill time.
Generally. Yeah. Sometimes get like 5-minute delays before his games in Pro League. It's kind of interesting, especially when Flash comes out.
Well, game has resumed, so we'll be jumping into that in just a sec. There we go. Once that text disappeared. And from here, everything's normal. Everything's fine. See that pylon at the top of the ramp, so most likely going to be a block up there with the gateway. Looks like Zest wants to go for that hatch for the Nexus first.
Yeah, I'm going to have to bring down an extra probe. Early drone scout, something you don't see all too often, but is going to work out here for Dark. Nice micro here from Zest, though.
Both sides, a little bit of delay on the Nexus, but not too much. And from here, he can simply go for that double hatch before pool if he desires. Nothing stopping him except perhaps his probe coming across the map, but he should be able to get one in place before then.
That drone is floating over through space once that third base Can't wait to see Zest's face when he sees it.
Well, he's going to try deny it, but it should go down. There he goes. And he scouts it instantly. He knows what's up.
Well, at least Zest is going to get the scout. He knows the current situation. There's no real limited information in this game for Zest, so he can proceed as he wants to.
Yeah. Well, he knows he has all this time in the world to kind of just play greedy from here. We'll see if he wants to apply the aggression there. The most normal sort of reaction to this is going for that Oracle. Try and do as much damage as you can while there's minimal sort of anti-air. And beyond that, take that third base safely, being able to deny all Zerglings on the map with Oracle power.
Yeah. So that's definitely one of the Protosses that is more bound to be a bit aggressive, even put on some gateway pressure these days here and there. If we were seeing Classic in this map, we'd probably just see a Stargate straight into a third base.
Yeah.
Like, very, very solid and like the same thing every time from that player.
Yeah, he kind of just wants to absorb and defend and make the perfect army. That's his dream, just the perfect army. And take it super late, which I do like. It makes for interesting games. It's all about the Zerg player trying to find a way to deal with it. Zest, not really like that. Can be more aggressive. I think he'd be probably a little bit more aggressive on this kind of map as well. A lot of avenues of attack, a lot of nice choke points to use sentries in.
No real tech. There it is. Stargate coming out.
Yeah, probably going to be that double Oracle into a third. From there, it's really up to Zest. I feel like we probably will just see that Stalker Sentry attack on 3 base eventually. It's going to be the one that tries to close out the game here, and it's going to be up to Dark to make the appropriate counter.
Yeah. Nice little scout here from Zest, by the way. Wants to deny any Lings getting to the front. Wants to also deny any Overlords that were over by that 4th base location.
Dark now is going to be looking for that tech, sacking the Overlord in the main and creeping in with the one from the north as well. He finds the Stargate he can get out of there safely, and he's not going to lose an Overlord for it. So,
really nicely done.
Yeah, perfect scouting there. Perfection.
So Dark, I mean, kind of in an easy place now that he's 100% identified the tech here from Zest. You get your Spore Crawlers out, you defend, you just drone up really, really heavily. Maybe you try to stop a third base, make a swell of Lings, but outside of that, I feel like the Zerg's play is kind of by the book here.
Yeah, it's something we've seen time and time again. Very standard sort of meta. There's that Forge going down for Zest, so most likely will be that +1 third base behind it. Though it is a pretty late Forge. Watch out, Queen. You're going to take a bit of damage here. He does have a Spore to run to, though.
Yeah. Zest knows he's been scouted, and so can't really find too much damage.
Look at this. Double Evolution Chamber going down. So maybe going for those heavy upgrades on Zerglings this time around instead. Maybe it's kind of a sign of things to come. Maybe he wants to eventually end up in that Ultra Tech. Go to the late game there. Similar, or possibly kind of similar reaction as we did see first player he played against. Yo, that's it. You know, he went for the very heavy Ling into Infestor. Perhaps we're going to see that this time around.
Yeah, could be. Been liking that kind of play against Protoss these days. Definitely great at shutting down the Blink Stalker Sentry kind of style.
Yeah, if you're expecting that, which I think just about every Zerg in this group would be. I mean, he doesn't show much more than that in most games. You're in a good place to defend against it with that kind of style.
Yeah, going to add a Rotorn in as well, just in case, I think.
Yeah, you really need that just in case it is something a little bit more, a little bit earlier. Or if it's like a very heavy gateway all-in. You know, 8 gateway units. Doesn't need Blink to destroy Lings, that's for sure.
Couple of Oracles going to do a number here on this one Queen. No energy for a Transfuse. Going to take it out.
That Zest harassment. These Oracles are just so on point. Zest, I think that's one of his strongest suits. Like just having like this constant harassment, constant presence in the map with these air units, whether they be Phoenix or Oracles. He always finds a way to do more damage.
Generally pretty active with them. You know, flying in and out, trying to get just a few kills here and there. never really sacrifices the units.
No.
Gets close there.
Yeah. Still, a few more drones. There's a lot of links coming across the map. At the same time, 1-1 nearly finished up.
We are seeing 4 more gateways added. So he had 3 from before, 3 at the third base, and now 4 more. Going to go up to 10 with the +2 and the blink. So
coming pretty early as well. I'm actually a little bit nervous for Dark right now because, you know, he doesn't have his infestation pit's only finishing up now. He's going to have 1-1 Lings and 0-1 Roaches. Roach speed well away from finishing as well. So it's kind of a scary place to be if this comes across the map now and deals with the base. There's not really much to answer for it.
Yeah, and he's already over there by the base. It looks like he's coming back now to deal with the Lings. Kind of funny because he does have the 2 Oracles following them. Can at any time deal with them if they try to attack or counterattack.
Yeah, these Lings won't have too much luck trying to intercept here. They're going to try now, but it is a lot of Zealots, and they do have +1. Okay, here we go. It begins, the big assault. A lot of Stalkers being warped in here. Does Zest actually have it up? He's got a great spread, but that is so many force fields available for Zest.
Oh yeah, Time Warp going down, and really nice force fields there, cutting the army in half. And even going to donut some of those Roaches as well. Has more energy as well on those sentries there.
Yeah, so much more. He's got about 10 more force fields available, I'd have to say. Stalkers are getting whittled down though, but a big warp is going to help out a lot.
Yeah. He does have the blink here, and he has pushed it back. Going to try to blink onto these Roaches now as they try to retreat. Has cleaned up all the creep outside of that third and second bases as well.
That's going to help out a lot with reinforcing. He's going to find an angle. Is he going to try through the middle again, or is he going to try from a side? That's the next question.
He's running out of energy here on his sentries, so he has to be careful. He's adding in more Zealots to deal with the big fling.
Oh, I like this a lot. Block off that third base, goes straight for the natural. Units are coming from behind now, though. He's got to be careful where he positions everything.
He's got a couple more force fields, and there they are. A really nice Time Warp on the Roaches in the back. Going to take so long to get up the ramp, and a big blink here to fight half of Dark's army.
Really nicely done. Well executed from Zest. This is what we expected from him as well, to be honest. You know, these Blink Stalkers timings.
GG.
So strong.
Really nicely done there. Dark preparing for more of a later game. Zest noticed the opportunity, went for it. 10 gate +2 Blink Stalker attack with about 8 or 9 sentries with almost full energy. It's, if you can get your force fields down, as Zest did, it is really hard to deal with.
Yeah, you know, the thing looking at that, Dark too greedy with his gas. You know, investing in both those upgrades early on instead of going for a layer faster meant he had no infestors for that attack. And then he got crushed before he really had any sort of decent composition to fight Blink Stalker sentries. That's looking very focused. He's been looking like this all day long. You know, he's not happy about this group, it seems. Not too confident against Zerg, but with that kind of game behind him, looking like a threat going into game number 2.
Game number 2 will be on Cactus Valley. Maybe Dark's going to have a bit of a better time on this big map.
He certainly will have more space to work with. Maybe this kind of build that he did last game makes a lot more sense in this map because he can buy more time, go for those upgrades a little bit early. Doesn't have to get those infestors out as quickly. Still got to be careful though. But I think Zest will change things up here. Probably try and take it later, try play more of a classic style game where he goes into the late game, goes for Tempest, and just tries to shut down whatever Dark does.
Wouldn't be surprised. Zest, pretty solid across the board. He's shown that he can play in that style as well. Map 2 is loaded up here for Cactus Valley. Let's jump into game number 2 between Zest and Dark.
HOT6 GSL 시즌 3
Down here in the bottom right, in the red, our Protoss player winning that last game is
KT 롤스터 Zest.
the Chisel Toss.
The handsome man himself. And up here in the top left, the blue Zerg player, he is
SK텔레콤 T1 TAC.
one more loss and he's out of the tournament. He's out in the round of 16, and essentially he's just practicing for Pro League Grand Finals, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's all he's got left.
He is a very important player for those grand finals for sure. I think SKT at this point has secured first.
Yeah, they're sitting pretty at first by a big margin, I think.
And we've seen time and time and again. Dark even said in his in the beginning interview of today how he's known for being great against Terran, but he feels confident against other races as well. But to be honest, I think he is best against Terran, especially on bigger maps like this.
Yeah.
We've seen his style even against Mech. He can deal with it. Against Bio, he's also fantastic.
Yeah.
And in that big pro league, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the big Terran sniper for that SKT1 team.
Certainly would call him that ZVT specialist. Very lacking in the ZVZs today, not showing much confidence at all. And just a little too greedy in his ZVP, at least game 1. Game 2, he can afford to be this greedy because he does have the space to do so. Cross map on Cactus Valley. Doesn't really get further away than that. But look at this. Chrono boosting out a Zealot this early on. He wants to reply the aggression. He wants to try and catch Dark out if he is going to go for that early pool. Early hatchery.
Yeah. This is a bit of a mixer-rooney here. We don't see this really ever, except out of like Parting. Occasionally loves to Chrono boost out a Zealot, get it into your mineral line and just be really annoying.
Yeah.
Pair it up with a probe and just zap the drones as they're trying to mine.
Oh yeah. Well, it's just going to be one Zealot, so it's going to harass the drone line. Not too much of a commitment here.
Yeah.
Could be, it's enough to create a little bit of damage there.
He was thinking about a second Zealot, but I guess he realized that cross map, it's going to take too long to get over there. The pool's going to be done. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, it's going to take a long time, and it's not a double hatchery before pool. If it was that, then you can afford to, invest in 2-3 Zealots and really do some damage.
Well, the first Zealot is going to come in here. Going to go straight for the main.
Not going to find too much with 4 Lings about to hatch at the perfect timing.
Yeah.
You get between like a little choke point though. Can trade.
That's what this really is about. But the Lings sneak by, and good micro here from Dark. Zealot is going to go down, and he saves 2 of them. 100% not worth it here for Zest.
No, certainly not. And just going to be an easy third. 4 Dark behind this. Very standard sort of opening here. And Zest, well, he would go for that gateway early, so he can take up. He's going to get that Stalker out quick.
Yeah. Using 2 Chrono Boosts here on early units that, in general, at cross map are just not going to do too much damage at all. He's going to be able to deny the Overlord very early on. That's the one thing he can do with this early Stalker. Can also deal with the Lings that are coming across the map.
Yeah. Probably just wanted to shut down these Lings so they can't get a scout up, can't run by, create any havoc. Oops, second Stalker on the way. Hold the phone, Valdez. Hang it up. We got something interesting.
So I shouldn't hold it. I should hang it up.
Just hang it up.
Okay.
Because this is gonna be a quick one, mate.
All right.
It could be. We'll see how much he wants to invest into this.
Will it be a third? Sentry.
Sentry behind this. Okay. So maybe just 2 Stalkers for map control, trying to zone out the Lings, trying to stop any sort of Overlord scouting. But look at this. Another gateway already.
Maybe on this map you can kind of work your way into the natural if there's nothing in a scout and get a decent force field on the ramp with that early sentry. Going to be a forge though as well, and another gate.
Another gateway in a weird place where an Overlord is. Could just be, 3 gate with +1 expand to a 3rd base with no commitment to attack beyond that, like a Stargate or a Robo.
Yeah. Maybe the 2 Stalkers are just here to, force out a small number of Lings, but also to inhibit the creep from getting to that 3rd base very quickly, and just in general on the map, stop it.
Yeah, slow down the economy by pressuring like this, forcing out Lings that don't want to be made. Yeah, so Overlord though, getting a pretty healthy scout, and owning Sentry to stop it, gonna mean it's gonna last a lot longer as well. Look at this, 14 more Lings on the way. It's like he really wants to start to pressure the issue, but Ling speed's still a long way away.
Yeah, and in general, those Lings are not going to get by if there's a wall like this, especially on this map. I'm kind of surprised that Dark makes this many Lings.
Very quick 3rd base. Well, it does make sense he makes these Lings if he's going to try cancel.
Yeah.
And what we have so far is 2 Sentries, 2 Stalkers, and a Mothership Core. That might not be enough to deal with 19 speed Lings. We'll see. It's all going to be about positioning, force fields, and what more gets warped in before then.
Maybe Dark was thinking about it, but he just got supply blocked pretty heavily. He does have these 19 links still on the map, but the cannon is getting up here. Speed about to finish. Let's see what these links can do.
They're going to work on probes. Not confident enough to deal with the Nexus itself. Still a little bit of damage. Pretty late extra gases for Dark as well. Getting the 3rd and 4th only now. They're about to finish there. Could see Spire invested in. Let's see. +1 melee on the way already. So this time around he isn't investing in double upgrades at the very least. Could be an infestation pit. Very similar to what we saw Fjell do.
Yeah. Hydralisk Den coming down. Already has the Roach Warren.
Okay. Well, Hydra's going to help out a lot. Is it a Hydra timing or simply just defensively while he goes into perhaps a Hive and Vipers? Another choice to make.
I would think so. He's adding a 2nd evolution chamber for some extra upgrades. He's already gone up to 68 drones as well.
Very clear sign of what he wants to commit into. There's that infestation pit finally, and a Spire. A little bit late though, considering how much money he's had for this amount of time. He could have invested in this a long time ago. Maybe he just really wanted to wait for that Overseer to kind of figure out exactly what's going on in the main base, what if it is going to be some sort of all-in with Blink Sorghum Sentry before he makes that kind of commitment. Hard to say in this situation, but either way, he's got the space to do so. There's no real threat in the map. He's got great creep spread, and he's working on a 4th base.
You have Charge on the way. Kind of interesting. He has taken the 5th and 6th gas at his 3rd base as well, and is going into Colossi on the back of this. He's also committing to a Warp Prism, so he's going to have some really nice harass with those Chargelets. I don't know if they're going to be a very key part of his army.
Probably just keeping the Zerg over his side of the map, and if there's ever a threat of him moving over, he can just fly in, warp in 8 Zealots, create some havoc, forcing everything back, if not claiming a base. See how much he wants to commit to this as well, because we do see those 4 extra gateways finishing up here. Zest could really turn on the aggression if he wants to.
Yep. It's the same amount of gateways as last game, but this time he's adding in the Charge and Colossi. So definitely playing for a bit later in the game.
8 meters on the way now, so a bit of a tech switch for Dark. Not the big commitment though, only 8 so far, and he's upgrading Path to the Land. So probably going to be into that Ultra Infestor style a little bit later. He needs to get that creep spread out though if he wants to go for that. It's such an important thing to have if you're going to use Queens as well to transfuse those Ultras.
Those 8 mutas are interesting. I mean, they're definitely going to buy Dark some time. We saw way back when on like King Sejong Station when Hero was wrecking Zergs left and right with his Warp Prism play. A lot of Zerg players would go for just like 4 mutas to shut down the Warp Prisms. So the mutas are going to be nice against that, but with 8, it's just that little bit extra to do some extra harass on this map as well.
Yeah, you can kill a lot of probes very quickly with that, and look at this. This could actually claim the Hive. What is there to defend against it? Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. He's going to try to go for his own base here of Zest, but I don't think he's going to be able to get that. The Hive is going to go down as long as he targets it. There it goes.
There it goes indeed. These Lings aren't going to find anything. These Hydras are going to have to run as well because they're in slow currently. Mutas are the ones that did the real damage, claiming, I think, a couple of probes, but not really enough to get a counter up.
Yeah, still 65 workers left over for Zest. He's having trouble mining, but finally the mutas are out. But look at this, 21 drones have gone down. He lost his Hive.
Yeah, and Lings are the things that are trying to clean up mass Zealot warp-ins here. That's never going to happen. Look how many Zealots are left over. These Lings aren't going to clean them up.
Yep, they've got +2 here, the Zealots too. Macro Hat's going to go down too. This one was being morphed into a lair. Going to be cancelled. It will go down.
Never has a Zealot warp-in create such a lead like this, I feel. It's like completely out of position with Dark. He was not expecting a Warp Prism at all. And man, did he pay for it by losing his entire main base.
That's just a sick play. I mean, generally you just don't see that charge before Blink on this kind of big map and then go for just that gigantic kind of harassment. The Warp Prism stays alive, by the way. I don't know how that worked.
Yeah, well, we are seeing a huge commitment to mutas from here. So like Dark's going to be like, well, I guess I got to go for this because I'm pigeonholed into this tech. I have no real chance of coming back into this game any other way. Losing a base like this, losing all my tech like this, you're really stuck.
It's going to be interesting. I think we do have the Templar Archives out already. He's adding Archons in. He's got 4 Templar. No Storm just yet.
Actually, I think it just finished up, Felder.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he snuck it in real quick.
Whoa.
Yeah.
During all the excitement, I actually missed that. That's really huge.
Yeah, that's a big move here. I mean, it's going to really force these units into a horrible situation. And these Hydras, they're not going to be too useful against Colossus, Blink Stalker either. Yeah. Look at this. Storm's coming in here.
Storm's going to be able to push away these mutas. Not going to claim too many lives. But we'll buy time for the Archons and the Stalkers to get over. Look at all the hallucinated Stalkers that just went down.
Now, the good thing about this for Dark is that he has such a muta ball, and there's no real hard counter. There's Blink Stalkers and there's Storms, but that's not going to chase down mutas and kill them like, you know, 2 Stargate Phoenix would. So he's got a lot of space. He's giving himself a lot of space just by harassing with them. He can come back into this game. He can rebuild that base, get that 1 base up economy lead again, and choose where he wants to go from there. So he's not out of it by any means. He's up against a scary army, but so long as it's defending and stuck in its base, you have a lot of work. You got a lot of room.
Seems like Zest has identified this as well, going for his own Stargate here. Just 1 right now. Maybe he wants to add in a small Phoenix Ball, but he is adding the +1 to air weapons as well, so maybe a heavier commitment a bit later down the road.
Yeah, you'd think he'd want 1 or 2 more just so he can really start pumping them out, because it's already a pretty established muta ball. Currently sitting at 36. It's a scary number.
He's the Storms. This Templar doesn't have enough energy. There it is. Oh, big Storm. A lot of them very low here in the yellow and orange. Gonna have to back off.
Lost a few meters there. We are seeing the Hive Tech on the way once again. And all the melee units do have 2-2, so if he wants to go to Ultras and we can get there in time, they'll have pretty scary upgrades to work with.
Yeah, that is true. I think there's only 1 robotics facility on the map just yet for Zest. He has 2 Colossi. Gonna need some Immortals if he does go into that switch, Dark.
Alright, Fleet Beacon on the way. 2nd Stargate as well. So he does want to go for that big, massive Phoenix behind this. And if they get out in decent number and get that the Phoenix range, they can shut these meters down because there's no real buffer for them beyond these couple of Infestors coming out. Could be all he needs if he gets the right fungals, but if not...
He's going to try to pull Zest apart here. Go for the mutas into the 4th base, maybe take some of the army back, and then go for a big run by into the other base there on the right side.
There we go, there it is. 4th base going to go down for sure.
Instantly goes down, runs away with everything. He was just trying to snipe that base.
Oh, big hit there. This actually might create a counterattack situation. Zest, thinking about it, looks like he's moving across the map with everything. He's gonna let these mutas do what they can. Oh, as I said that, he actually turns around everything, so a little bit of indecision.
Yeah, kind of a rough spot for Zest in terms of the fact that he can't walk across the map with this army just yet. He needs more Phoenixes.
Yeah, he just wants to wait for his Phoenix and then go for it.
But it's funny because he's maxed out, so he can't make Phoenix right now. He needs to lose units somehow, and he is sending a bit of a rogue force up to the top right now.
Yeah, I guess that'll do it. You know, that's going to free up a lot of supply, and he's got a bit of a bank to work with as well. There's more Phoenix on the way. And Eden Crystal's about to finish up as well.
And Lings are not going to deal with this. Not a chance in hell. No. Everything going to go down.
They're +3 Zealots. They're going to mash Lings that are 2-2. And this base is actually under threat. He's going to have to send everything back. Mutas are coming back for it. He's going to open up the map for Zest, and he's going to start to move across.
He's going to be getting out a bunch of Phoenixes now to deal with the mutas on the map. Gets his 4th base. But with 8 Ultras on the way, 9, and a Greater Spire, will he have the necessary army to deal with this?
Man, it's hard to say, right? He doesn't really have any Immortals whatsoever. He's just got Archons that are going to help out a little bit, and a lot of Gateway units. But Ultras should be able to crush this. Same time. Let's see where everything else is. 25 meters flying around somewhere. They're actually in the top right of the map, not doing anything right now.
Yeah. It's so annoying when you can't get your Archons by there. Oh, big Fungal gonna catch all of the Phoenixes on the map.
Queen's going to clean it up, it seems, and that's going to really open up the map for Mutas again. It might even checkmate it. He's going to fly into the 4th base with these Mutas again and just start claiming these probes.
That is a huge mistake. You can't be losing your Phoenix presence on the map. Gives these Mutas so much more power.
Oh, man. So many probes going down. Oh.
He's just running Zest around the map now.
Yeah. Zest was in a great place when he claimed that the main base, destroyed it completely, but he didn't really have a powerful follow-up. Going into Storm instead of Phoenix, never the most robust way to go about dealing with Mutalisks.
And now Dark is taking multiple bases at a time. He has total map control. DTs on the map from Zest in an attempt to regain that map control. Maybe snipe a couple bases here and there.
Yeah, he's going to commit it to the new base building here. Actually, no, he's going to run towards the building base. Now, that's a good decision. I think there's army waiting there, though. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Oh, man. Well, that just didn't work out. Muta's going to claim the batch of them. Only a couple actually got away from there. Split on up.
Yep. Don't get greedy with your DTs, especially when there's 6 of them.
Yeah, maybe should have just settled with that outside base.
Couple of Ultras wanted to go on vacation, ran to the wrong side of the map.
Yep. Not the most efficient way, but I guess he wants some Broodlords instead. He's making that perfect army.
Yeah, I love when Zergs get into this position when they control the map for this long that they can just kind of toy with the Protoss's tech choices and army composition. Because he's forcing out so many Phoenixes, so many Immortals, but there's going to be about 5 Broodlords on the map. Not much to deal with them.
Yeah, that's actually a big problem right now. There's some of the creep. It's going to help out some. Currently sitting at about 3 Phoenix, so he's really... his Phoenix count got completely reset, and he's only starting to remake it now. He's got a lot of work to be done.
Seems the Muta count was taken down a bit as well. Looks like about 20, maybe 23 there.
Yeah. And now Tempest in the way. So he has figured out that the Broodlords are on the map. He did scout it there. And he's knocking on the door, and there's Tempest out late. It's going to be a hard fight as well, but not enough creep spread for these Queens, so it's going to take some time to get down here.
Yeah, maybe Zest can delay long enough to get out some Tempest, and maybe a good blink underneath those Broodlords would be nice.
Yeah, I do like the army of Zest right now, but it's about trying to initiate, trying to engage on that, trying to get rid of these Broodlords, 6 of them right now, and then make sure you're focus firing down these Ultralisks with those Immortals. 4 of them. Good number to deal with them, but he has to give up that 4th base, it seems.
Yeah. Rough place here. Going for the Fungals now on the Phoenixes. They're going to miss a couple here. Still some more energy left, and the Mutas are getting pretty far ahead, trying to get some damage down. He's taken out the 4th base, and he's got so much more. There's a nice Fungal.
Oh, big Storm as well. These Mutas are actually getting low. Only 11 left over now, and here comes the big engagement. I do not like this at all for Dark.
Yeah. The Immortals in the back totally protected. The Ultras are being shredded down.
Oh, this is a complete disaster. Everything getting wiped out. But look at the bank of Dark right now. He can make anything he wants to. 16 Ultras will be the choice.
He has to make something fast. Really, really fast. Because Zest just destroyed that entire army. Will he have enough time to go across the map and really punish Dark here? It looks like he may be able to take out 1 base with the Blink Stalkers, and he's just going to take a 4th base again.
Yeah, it looks like it. He actually canceled 3 of those Ultras to make some Lings and Corruptors as well. That's a big commitment. It's going to be a hard sell as well, because, I mean, we already saw so many Immortals out. Not one of them went down. Not to mention the Tempests. I think from this point, Zest has to be careful. He has to re-get that. He has to retake the 4th base, work for a 5th, and try and destroy the army again to completely reset that bank for Dark.
Oh, DT's coming in onto this base. He needs detection. Where is it? There's nothing in sight. There it is. The fleet of Overseers, but is it going to be in time?
Oh, it's going to be close.
Oh, just barely.
200 HP left over, so 4 Zealots, if they ran in undetected, they could just finish the job. Oh, looks like it's going to be the Stalkers to do that.
Yeah, they're going for it. Has to be careful about defending his own 4th base. He's adding in 3 Immortals at a time. He's identified the army of Dark.
He's got to get in place for this. He's got to be so careful how he engages. That is so many ultras. But if he's in place, if he's got those immortals set up, 6 immortals right now. Here we go.
And the storm's coming down on everything. So many Templar and the immortals behind.
Oh, man.
The Lings, though, trying to get the surround on the immortals. They do a decent job, but only ultras left over and corruptors in the sky.
Bad place for these ultras to be. Immortals in the mineral line right now. They're going to wipe out these ultras. Down goes the extra base for Dark. Dark in a horrible place.
Oh, man. Down to 4 bases against 4. This is not where he wants to be after he just lost his entire army. Gonna remax on only Lings.
I think Mutas would be a good choice here. Kindness plating on the way. Ah, actually, all right. Broodlords is going to be the next option. And that's the remaining bank of Dark. This is all that's left over at this point.
That's a good read. I mean, Zest does have to notice that coming. Those are going to be slow to get across this gigantic map, but Zest needs to make some kind of counter.
Yeah, he does. He has to. His counter should be Void Rays at this point, because what we have is only Corruptors to defend against this.
Yeah.
And there we go.
Tempest.
Tempest, all right. He hasn't scattered out just yet. He has got observers with speed zooming around the map, but he hasn't scouted the army. He's going to see it in just a second's time. And how is he going to approach this? Is he going to actually sack the 4th, or is he going to actually try to fight this head on?
Bunch of Zealots, it looks like, at the 3rd base. Needs to get him over here to deal with the Lings.
He's going to sack it. All right. I think this is a good choice. He's going to wait for this Tempest there. Maybe the better choice would have been Void Rays, but I guess he just doesn't have enough time to make enough.
Yeah. Just kiting back. Zestin, a very interesting spot where he's hanging onto this game by retaking this 4th base over and over and over again.
We've seen this a lot from Zest, actually, where he's like barely hangs on with a certain kind of army. He's usually on 3 base by the end of it.
Yeah. Zestin stats his teammate even.
Yeah, that's right. The 3 base Protosses. Zealot Run might not going to find much, but at least it's going to give him a window of opportunity to start cleaning up the map. Get rid of some of these creep tumors.
He's retaking this base as well. So Dark does have a really nice economy back on his side. What is Zest's 3rd base looking like right now?
It's essentially not mining. I mean, one of the gases is gone already. The other one's nearly finished up. And 3 mineral patches.
Yeah.
Bad place to be.
How long can Zest hold on to half a base? Because he needs to keep retaking it. It's like a 1/3 of a base.
If he loses this 4th base again, there's just no economy left. He really needs to be looking forward for a 5th base, but look where he can take. They're so far away. It's so hard to defend against this.
Yeah.
Dark's in such a great place. He's got such a supply lead right now.
That's the rough thing about this map, you know? And I think Dark may be beginning to realize this about Zest. He sent some Lings down to the bottom left. They haven't gone up into the main there, but he does need to make sure that Zest has no hidden bases on the map so that he can stay in this game.
That's the biggest thing of all. You see that army kind of posturing for the 4th of Zest once again. So Dark wants to try and close this one out and bring it to a game 3.
There were just 9 probes on that one gas. Not sure about that. He can't be affording. He can't afford to lose these Zealots on the map. He needs them. He's trying to, I guess, distract the army, bring it back to deal with the harass.
Oh, he's working on the Nexus here, taking some big hits from the Tempest. Not enough to one-shot these Broodlords though.
Yeah.
Oh, big run by into the natural, into the main as well.
Dark in a great position here.
Yeah, he's getting ran around the whole place. Production's going to be heavily damaged from these Lings. Here we go, big storms going down. But they are ultraless, they can't take a hit.
Yeah. Big Pungles as well, gonna lock down the entire army, and Zest essentially has no mining at this point. That's gonna be it. GG, Dark taking game number 2.
Dark finally found an answer for that, crashing so many armies into that 4th base. Zest just could not find any momentum beyond that though. He defended, but never a 5th base, never a full-sized army, never maxed out. Frustrating game for him, but he can't take it to game number 3. And it certainly won't be as big of a map.
You can see the frustration on Zest's face right now. That map, a really hard one. for the Protoss to take that 5th base. And Dark, we said it before, he was going to be very comfortable on that map. The last map we are going to have in this pool is going to be Expedition Lost.
And that's a tricky map to deal with. We did see Zest go down pretty convincingly to Bial. Bial with a nice early Ro16 attack. It wasn't really even an all-in. It was just like an attack while he drones up behind it. So Zest no doubt going to be a little nervous going into this one, trying to figure out what he should do.
He's just got to play a bit more defensive, maybe open up with a forge and not just a gateway into no cannons with no defense, no scout really. It was a very greedy build that he went for, and Bial identified it and punished it.
Kind of gives you an idea about the mindset behind how he plays this map. It's like, all right, I got to play super greedy, take a chance. I can't rely on just playing a macro game because it's such a tricky map to defend on. But maybe he'll try and mix it up this time.
We've seen him do it before. I think it was against Bial once again. It was a while back where you just, you make a gateway wall at your back door, you send some sentries and a couple of cannons over there to deal with any kind of backdoor attack. It's just never going to get up the ramp against any number of sentries. And then you just defend on your 3 bases and get a good army. Go for it. It's not as big of a map as Cactus Valley. Dark's not going to be able to hold, 5-6 bases for an extremely long period of time.
Yeah, and even getting there is going to be the tricky part. We did see in game 1. He just simply got all in before he could even get his army, his upgrades off the ground. A little too greedy. He's got to be more careful this time around. So players getting ready now, getting a lot of advice from their coaches. This is such an important match. Whoever loses this game is out of the tournament.
Rough place to be. Both of these players, I feel like, deserve to be in the round of 8. It's just hard when you get to the top of any kind of bracket here in Korea. The best players sometimes have to go down, and only the tippy top pinnacle make it through.
Yep, only those players that are truly informed, truly on top of their game, true masters of the game. It's unbelievable seeing one of these guys go out to the stage in the round of 16. Zest and Dark. What a game it's been so far. What a match it's been so far. You guys have come a long way.
An interesting play. Zest is actually hot after that game. Once the aircon turned up a bit more, but Dark is essentially in the same booth. They were both on the same side from the start of today.
I think Zest's just a little bit angrier.
Yeah, probably. He's probably fuming from that last game.
Yeah, frustrating game to deal with.
Now Dark's going to the bathroom, so we're going to have some time here before this game gets started. Maybe grab a drink.
Yeah, you guys need to take a little break. Now's the time. Get ready for that game number 3. I'm sure it's going to be a long one as well, unless Dark's figured out an all-in that he can do, or Zest has as well. Zest's probably the more likely candidate to go for regression, I think. Dark, very macro-oriented.
Yeah.
Loves to take it late.
This map, when we used to see it, all around Korea, outside of the GSL only, there was a Protoss all-in going around where there was a pylon on the high ground behind the gold base of the opponents, and you just warp in a bunch of zealots and sentries. You stack up a bunch of sentries early on, and you go for a big zealot sentry attack on the 3rd, because if you get up the ramp, you can just force field it off, and that hatchery is going down.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what you have up there.
Certainly so. Expedition Lost. It's a map we don't get to see too much as well, Valdez, because it's not really over in Pro League or Star League these days.
Yeah.
Only here in GSL. It's a great map. I do like this map. But there's some flaws to it. A lot of I don't think Protoss really enjoyed this map much at all because of that backdoor ice. I know Terran certainly does not enjoy this map. I think the least of all.
For you guys who have subscribed and are not watching on low quality, you can actually see Zest sweating here. He says he was hot, and he's not lying.
Yeah. I certainly sweat when I'm getting when I'm losing games of StarCraft, fellas. I'll tell you that much. Happens all the time.
Dark's cool as a cucumber. He's like, that was an easy game. Keep that in mind going into game number 3. Dark probably in a much better mindset coming into this one.
Yeah. Here we go. Finally, the countdown has begun. Expedition Lost game number 3.
Dark talking to himself, trying to get himself hyped up. Saying, come on, let's do this.
I'm ready for it.
Farthest warp. Yeah. Map number 3, guys, is going to be Expedition Lost for this PVC. It's going to be Zest versus Dark in game number 3 to decide who makes it to that final match. Let's get into it right now.
HOT6 GSL 시즌 3.
Down here in the bottom left, in the red, our Protoss player, he is
KT 롤스터 Zest.
Looked at the camera for a second. Got me excited. Up here in the top right, we have the blue Zerg player.
SK텔레콤 T1 TAC.
it's Duck.
Thought it was Dark.
No.
Guess I was wrong. All right, well, nothing out of the ordinary so far. Forward pylon. Is it going to be that gateway again? We've seen it nearly every game so far. It's the way Zest likes it.
I mean, Dark was watching the game as well. That BL all-in him once he went for that gateway first. Can be risky at time. Let's see what he goes for. It's going to be a gateway.
Would Dark so dare do that, though? Is he the kind of player to actually pick that kind of style up on the get-go? Is he going to be like, you know what? Forget what I had planned. Let's just do that Ro16 attack. Let's just win the game. Or is he going to be the one that's be like, you know what? I want to go to Ultras, I want to go to Broodlords, I want to last till the end game and play it out from there where I'm comfortable. I feel like he's far less impulsive. Probably Solar might be more like that, where he's like, can throw something out there comfortably. I think Dark is much more refined and much more, I guess, focusing on practice and preparation more than he's just how he feels, which is why we don't see him do too well at individual tournaments overseas that are like 2-day events, where we do see Solar do very well.
Yeah, sometimes to be one of the best players in the world, you have to break away from your style and mix it up a bit. Go against what your opponent is expecting you to do, catch them off guard. StarCraft is certainly a game where you can exploit that kind of behavior. But as you said, I don't see Dark as that kind of player. I mean, even BL, who's one of the most solid players at the, the top of the Zerg race, and even in Korea at this point, he is willing to go into that just because he is confident that, he's noticed something out of his opponent that is different, that he can exploit.
Yeah, certainly so. Look at this harassment. It's actually doing some work. See, I saw one of the closest mineral patches not mining for some time. It's Dark just not paying attention, not used to dealing with this kind of harassment because it just doesn't happen anymore. Not a big deal though, not really a game changer, just an interesting thing to see.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Another player who used to go for that kind of mix-up was Life, but he's kind of changed his ways after joining KT.
Yeah, they made him a different kind of player, that's for sure. And I'm gonna say it's a little disappointing, Valdez.
They beat it out of him, saying you're not allowed to do that anymore.
You're not allowed to be original.
Only macro.
You're not allowed to be impressive or stylish. Make those drones, son.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look like Dark's going for that kind of super all-in aggression. Yeah, I mean, he possibly could. We did see BL take the third base as well and kind of just fake Zest out in that way.
Yeah. Seeing that safety pylon at the back as well, making sure no lings are working on the ice. If that goes down, all sorts of problems begin. It's going to be a nice, healthy macro opening for both sides. It's going to be up to Zest how he's going to play this one out there. Are we going to see the same kind of thing? Are we going to see that robo go down? Or are we going to see maybe a little something normal? It's going to be that robo once again.
Yeah, showed this in the first game against BL.
All right.
Never really came through.
Overlord. Looking to peek up there and have a look.
What? Huh. It looks like it's flying through the vision, but it's actually not.
It's the mist. The mist at the edge of the map blocking it.
Maybe my depth perception is not 100% here. There it is. Gonna fly in right where he expected the building.
Oh man, that is such an advantage to have at this point. Seeing the robo this early on, he must be feeling confident. It's like, okay, I know what style you're going. You did exactly the same thing against BL. granted, BL killed you before we really got to have a look at what the strategy was going to be all about beyond this warp gate. Oh, sorry, this warp prism.
Yep. He saw the warp prism in the game against BL, and he should be 100% ready for this. There's no excuse for Dark to take too much damage from this kind of play now.
Look at that spine crawler coming up as well. Interesting. He's worried about that ramp. Overlord's going to come up here, say good day, then explode.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
That sound, though. Well, here we go. 2 extra gates being added on. Oh, 4 extra gates being added on.
Make that 5.
Okay.
Let's just keep going, Valdez. And an Immortal behind us, so it is going to be an Immortal all-in with a lot of gateways. So this Sentry drop is just to buy time, try and do some economic damage, if possible.
A very common build on this map. We used to see it all the time. And immediately a Hydralist Den comes down here for Dark.
Yeah, he needs that ASAP. He needs to start upgrading Groove Spines. He's going to start pumping them out. He's going to be in position for this, because it's going to come in very fast. It's not even going to be +1.
Oh! No force field there. You know, as you said, just forcing out some units. Not really looking for the game-breaking damage here with just 3 sentries.
Ling scouts the Immortal as well. Gives away everything. This should stop drone production from here, and nothing but Hydras should be on the way. He's going to make more Overlords beyond this, actually. It's going to be supply block in just a second's time. Creep spread being denied is very smart as well.
We are seeing a Forge on the way as well. Kind of interesting. Generally, with this kind of play, you go upgradeless, 8 gate, try to make as many units as possible.
Oh man, just denying another tumor like this makes things so hard.
Is he actually gonna? Wow. Okay.
Alright.
Well,
so this is like a progressive sort of Immortal attack. He's just gonna build a Death Ball, make a lot of sentries, upgrade, take another base, and it gives him the option as well to go into, you know, Robotics Bay and make Colossus.
Yeah.
And then you're stuck with Hydra Ling against this kind of Death Ball. So it's a much smaller kind of Death Ball than you'd want to deal with.
Yeah, and with this massive amount of pressure, Dark is almost never going to scout that gold base, although I think he just did. Funnily enough. So he knows that the gold base is coming down and that he has a bit of time. He's adding an evolution chamber now.
I love the fact that this Warp Prism is still on point. It's got 4 Zealots in it too, so it can drop at any time and create some havoc, which is going to be a pain in the ass to defend, because it's really everything's out of position. It's so worried about this gold base coming up and these Immortals Sentry doing some work. Look at this. A lot of Lings, a lot of Hydras coming in here. I'm going to try and end this now. I'm going to try and shut this army down and cancel this gold base.
Needs the perfect force fields, but at the same time, as you said, the constant threat of the Zealots coming in, and he has so many gateways, really nice force fields here. He's blocking out all of the Hydras from fighting.
Every Link's going down here, and now he's turning around the entire army going back to the main base. Dark in a horrible place right now.
Yeah, not going to warp in anything else. In fact, he may try to save these Zealots.
Yeah, he's going to save the Warp Prism as well.
Wow,
so close.
Bought himself so much time. He has a gold base now. Needs to transfer some probes over there.
Oh, he did end up losing it. A little ambitious there, perhaps.
Yeah.
He's going to move up with his army on the left side of the map there. Maybe look for that third. At least start dealing with the creep tumors. Got to be careful there. Counterattack could do a lot of damage as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of open spaces on this map, as there are a lot of choke points. It's up to Dark to force fights, you know, on the creep in those open spaces and not in the chokes.
Yeah, actually going to see. It's interesting to see Dark Shrine instead of a Robo Bay, because he is dealing with this big, heavy Hydra sort of composition. So Colossus is like the perfect unit to make against it. But Dark Shrine also going to create havoc, going to make things a little bit harder to deal with. If they get a decent drop in or they find that 4th base, they can't deal with them as well.
It's a good tempo play. Like, you're going to deny the 4th base, as you said, but also if you snipe at a couple of observers, you force Dark back. Maybe at the same time you're warping them in the main. It's great for just keeping the huge amount of pressure on the Zerg opponent.
Fest is on the way. No pathing lands. It's straight into Hive. So he's making that big transition. It's coming pretty quickly as well. It's actually good timing for it. Considering he doesn't have to worry about Colossus, he's in a pretty good place. He's just got to make sure he has enough army to deal with what's coming his way, because more and more Immortals are being added, as well as that +2. So it's going to be a pretty scary army, even for Hydras to deal with.
Bunch of Spore Crawlers being made here, so definitely going to take down the effectiveness of those DTs. I don't even know if he warped in a single one after it was made. Darkshrine has finished.
Finding a place for just yet, maybe looking for that 4th base.
Was actually scouted as well, so maybe he's like, okay, he scouted it, I don't need to make anything here. Kind of just a waste of money. I guess he forces out some spores, but that's about it.
Yeah, interesting. That Mothership Core staying around the gold base as well, mind you, which could prove to be a mistake if this army gets caught out.
Moonglade flying away and then coming back. Tons of more gates being added here. He has so much mineral income right now. And adding a 4th base even.
Templar, the next step. Both sides really just positioning after this and trying to get to that late game composition. They're going to get this cancel at least.
Yeah.
Should.
Way too many links.
Yeah, links could just go down there.
Yeah, I'm going to get the majority of them, but buying a lot of time denying that 4th base for sure.
Oh, big run by, looking for the natural here.
One Hero Zealot. Do the trick.
So Ultras have nearly finished here, so Ultras will be on the map. Though it's going to be up against a Immortal heavy composition. We're sitting at currently 3 Immortals. But maybe Zest just going to go for the Tachyon before this.
Oh, look at this run by. Gonna stop all mining there.
No, he's not going to stop for it this time around. He's going to commit to this attack. He's looking for the 3rd base by the looks of things here. Oh, I think he's just going to give up that gold.
He can get a position, maybe throw it on some force fields. Ooh. Decent fungal there.
Yeah, big fungal. Still, he's on a ramp. That's going to be hard against force fields and Storm.
All those units are trapped up there. They're going to try to come from behind. That's a really nice idea, in fact. Oh, big fungal on all the Templar. Storm's coming down, but not on top of the Hydras. A lot of Hydras still left over.
Such a hard place to fight from. So long as Zest holds the ramp, force fields it off, at least try to trap a lot of these Hydras, he'd be in a great place. Getting a little spread out now. He's also going to be fighting against a huge concave, but still force fields are available. Yeah,
Ultra's pumping through here, but not breaking those force fields from the Hydras. A really nice concave here for Zest.
Finally finding his way in. Just a bad position for Dark to be in. Look at that. The natural was also a lot of damage done to it. 39 turns have gone down, actually.
That is huge, and now he's funneling these Zerg units straight into his own concave. He's got so many. Look at the Immortals in the middle, totally protected by all of the Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, just no way to deal with them. Now, going to be mowing down the remaining Hydras. You see the units that they were behind. There was an Ultra, but I guess he's not going to be committing to this. And I think Dark is essentially being tapped out. There's nothing he can really do at this point.
Yeah, that should be it. A big commitment to take out the gold base of Zest. Didn't really work out. He did do it, but just way too much damage coming out here for Zest.
Yeah, bad army choice as well, I think. You know, Ultras were not the kind of the ideal unit to make against Immortals. Probably you should have looked towards the Broodlords. They would be pretty efficient on this map. Not that many avenues of counterattacking, not a big map. It's pretty easy to get the right fights.
Yeah. And the tech of Zest was stuck in only Blink Stalkers to deal with them. GG, Zest will have one more chance in that final match against Solar.
I wonder if Solar's happy about that, or is he a little nervous to try and rematch Zest after their last encounter in the last group stage. Zest should be feeling pretty good about it though. Bit of a weird game, and I'm sure Doc's very disappointed as we see head in hands. That's the remaining Star League of the year, and he's out of it.
Yeah.
Very frustrated. Wow.
He was the one guy that said it. You know, last Star League, I want to make it all the way and prove myself once and for all, but today is not his day.
Well, he's got Pro League, Grand playoffs to focus on now, so it's not like he won't get playtime again in front of the camera, but it's not going to be for a while.
Man, he really wanted this one. Can imagine a lot of his practice was spent here. especially because it was a long time before SKT had to play in that Pro League.
Yeah. Oh, well. Good for Zest there. Zest, that one last shot against Solar. It's going to be a fun one.
It is. Solar taking the series last time 2-0, proving himself to all of us that he is actually back and ready.
Yeah.
But guys, we're going to take a 5-minute break. We'll be right back.